gentlemen, I want to thank everyone here for letting me even be a small part of this historic night. But with a special night, we need a special announcer. Making a return to the Santino ring in many years, I want to welcome Santino!
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are live at the world famous VFW in Azusa, California. I'm Jack Farmer, being joined on commentary by none other than Sarah the Rebel for the historic Santino Sisters Women at War. Thanks for joining us, Sarah.
Thanks for having me, and that's right, I had to come back for my sisters. Tonight is going to be a historic night. I've been in the locker room with a lot of these women.
As we get ready to kick things off, once again, this is a historic night, Sarah, where it's an all-female show, Santino Sisters, and we're going to kick things off with a tag team matchup, one that, you know, as we hear the music come on, I know it's springtime, but as I hear the music, I can't help but feel that winter chill fill the air. Sage Sin, Auntie Heidi, two very imposing figures.
Well, you know, anyone who knows me from my days as Sarah Wolf know that I absolutely love Sage Sin and Auntie Heidi for obvious reasons. Goth girls gotta stick together. I know they've worked together before as the Void.
As they have a strong background working together, and what a terrifying duo to have to face. Sage Sin, really one of the more brutal, one of the more violent wrestlers you're going to come across. Auntie Heidi, just raw power, and something about Auntie Heidi doesn't sit right with me whenever I see her.
Yeah, something's just not right. I agree, 100%. And you know, their opponents really have their work cut out for them because they're both coming with a lot less experience than Sage Sin. Sage Sin brings a ton of experience.
Last time we saw Sage Sin was that Night of the Human Death match where she faced Eli Everfly and almost scalped him in a death match. You can check that out on Fight TV's replay is live. Auntie Heidi, of course, has had many run-ins with multiple people here at Santino Brothers, including Delilah Doom, who we will see later in our main event against Simone Williams. That's going to be an incredible matchup.
Absolutely, cannot wait to watch that match.
Sage Sin, of course, the daughter of Supreme. As you can hear from the crowd, really the blood and soul of Santino Brothers and Santino Sisters now. Their opponents, not quite as big of a history with Santino Brothers. In fact, both of them are making their debut here for Santinos here at Santino Sisters Women at War. I talked to them earlier today, and both of them said, look, if we're going to make a debut, we want to make a big splash. We want to do it in a big way. You're not going to become a big name at Santino's by just beating nobodies. We want to take it to the most dangerous two in the locker room. We want to take it to Sage Sin and Auntie Heidi. Of course, easier said than done.
I'm really excited to see Nina in this match. You know, she helped establish the wrestling scene in the Philippines, and that's no small feat to start a wrestling scene where there isn't one already. So I know she must have a ton of heart going on for her.
An absolute pioneer and trailblazer. This one looking to kick things off in a very exciting fashion. Big differences in styles between the four. But let's not wait any longer. Let's go ahead and kick things off by sending it back to our ring announcer, Jen Santino.
Our first contest is a tag team match scheduled for one fall. Team number one, from the depths of the void, weighing in at 260 pounds, she is the corrupter of souls, and her partner from the town of Halloween, standing 6 feet under and weighing 13 pound heads, the Pumpkin Queen,
Look to get things underway.
Oh, big mistake. Never turn your back on your opponent. One of the first things they teach us at Santino is.
Especially opponents like Auntie Heidi and Sage Sin Supreme. Not a good start for the debutantes, Jen and Nina.
from Long Beach, California, she is a SoCal hippie, Gia Savani, and her partners from Manila, Philippines, Nina!
Getting the ring entrance after already taking a bit of damage here. Nina's not in a good position, already taking the double team moves here, and our referee's gonna need to get things back in control. Sage, not someone who likes things in control though.
Definitely not. I think my last match with her, we were outside of the ring. We were slamming into chairs. Does not like to follow the rules.
The bell finally rings as Sage just squeezing at the throat. The thing about Sage Sin, she's not gonna try to surprise you with anything. She's gonna come at you with exactly what you think she's gonna do, and that's just brutality.
When it works, it works.
And one of the reasons I'm really glad to have you here, Sarah, is, as mentioned, you are a Santino's alumni. And so it's great to have you here on what is truly a historic night. Santino Sisters, the all-women show, Women at War. Just an honor to have you here, and I'm humbled to get to be a small part of it.
You definitely should be humbled. I mean, honestly though, all jokes aside, I've been in the locker room with every single woman on this card, and I can't wait to see what everyone has. When you give us the chance to prove ourselves, to show our heart, to show what we're all about, you know, we're gonna step up to the plate.
And we talk about that heart. Nina has it in spades. Clearly,
Didn't have it there.
just clearly the size advantage is going to be an issue here. Nina not having it. And again, Sage Sin Supreme not hiding her cards, basically using the size advantage to cut Nina off and keep her away from her partner.
And as much as the size advantage, I don't know if you noticed what she did there was such a veteran move. Someone who has been in the ring countless times, and Nina just couldn't predict it because she doesn't have that same amount. Oh, going high, arm drag, beautiful.
And you know, Nina, as you alluded to at the top, she helped really pioneer women's wrestling in the Philippines. And you think about the heart it takes to basically create that kind of movement in your country where it's not necessarily around everywhere else. She has that heart, and she's really learned to use that speed and that size, very lucha-esque almost.
And especially as a woman to do that, you know, we can't neglect that there is a difference. And to go somewhere in another country where you're one of the only women wrestling, and to still say I'm gonna wrestle.
You're saying?
I just think, like you said, it really just shows she has a lot of heart, she has a lot of fire, and she's doing the smart thing now, hopefully. Yes, good. No? Okay, never mind. Okay, good.
Good, I was about to say, maybe the newness as a tag team showing itself there.
Right, I agree.
Now, Jen likes to brawl. Jin's gonna get in there, and I think that this is gonna be a real test of strength versus strength with Jin in the ring here.
I agree. They have similar size, similar styles. Although I will say, Jin lately has been working a little more on her thought process. Oh, we got a tag move. Adorable. Use your tiny opponent. That's right.
I don't think Sage Sin thought it was adorable, but look, we got a roll up.
I don't remember seeing the tag.
we got a, it looks like a blind tag here is now Auntie Heidi's in, but you know, for a new team, it looks like we're seeing a couple forms of tag team continuity. We get another cover.
I enjoy that they've figured out, let's use Nina's entire body as a weapon. That's really smart.
Yes.
And that's what I was about to say. Jin has really been upping her cerebral game as well, I've noticed.
Well, yeah. As a wrestler yourself, someone who's been in the ring, what do you make of the fact that this team is really gelling so quickly already?
I think sometimes certain people just work. It just works out. You feel it. You communicate to each other without speaking.
Hooks the leg.
Oh, that would have been a great upset. To get that early in the match.
Again, and what would it say to their careers here at Santino's to get a win against a team like The Void, like Sage Sin, like Auntie Heidi, who clearly, as mentioned, have to be the favorites. They've teamed together, they've won together in the past.
I think it would really set them up for a bright future here. And that's the exciting thing about this show for me. It's veterans and it's people, you know, that the Santino Bros crowd necessarily hasn't seen. Oh, that was so close. That was almost a pin.
The pin attempts getting closer and closer as the match goes on. Auntie Heidi looks like now she's the one that might need to get the tag in, but maybe I spoke too soon. The commentator's curse.
Oh, see, look at that, breaking the rules. That's kind of their thing.
You notice when Sage Sin put her boot up, you could see the thumbtacks stuck in the bottom of it.
Yeah. Shoes have probably seen a lot of things.
You know, I would say it looks beautiful if it wasn't so terrifying.
Especially when it's coming at you in the face. Oh, Lord. That's a leg drop you don't want to take.
Another cover. Nina quickly getting in there to make the save for her team.
You know, I do admire that. A lot of people would have said, oh, no, I'm not supposed to be in the ring right now. But Nina knows the most important thing is to win the match.
Now, as we talked about, the Void, they started teaming back with Charming Biagio a few years ago, so they definitely have that tag team familiarity. They know how to work together, and both dangerous individually as well, I should say. Had their run-ins with a lot of folks here at Santino's. Ruby Reyes, for one, who we'll also see later in action tonight.
Classic. Classic misdirection from Sage.
And you know, there's that tag team partnership again. Nina trying to do what's best for her team, but really costing her team there. Sometimes it's best to not get involved and not try to help your partner.
It's just really hard in the moment to make those kinds of decisions unless you've had more in-ring experience. It's going to come with time. Oh, disrespectful pin.
Having a little bit of fun here.
See, this is why I keep my hair short.
Me for the same reason.
I thought so.
Auntie Heidi's been around. She's had a lot of matches in a lot of places. Seen her at places like Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, of course, here at Santino Brothers. Was an MPW champion not too long ago as well. So we know that she can get it done in the singles game as well. Just a terrifying icon of fear, Auntie Heidi is.
I'm scared.
Jin sort of fighting for her life right now. You can tell she needs to make that tag.
I don't know if you've noticed, there's been a lot of attacks on her back lately. Really hard to get anywhere without a back.
Well, yeah, the back, I mean, that's the support system for the rest of the body. And as the VFW Arena tries to rally behind Jin, trying to help her get the energy she needs to get to her partner. Sage Sin cutting it off at the pass, though. And
oh, pumpkin smash.
Right into the corner there. That could do it.
showing that heart we mentioned earlier. Though I don't know how, she doesn't really have a face anymore.
You know, Sage, you'll notice the pause after the kick out at 2. I think Sage at first was having fun dishing out some pain, now getting a little frustrated that she wasn't able to put it away there.
Absolutely. You can see the moment when, oh, I'm having fun torturing my opponent, hurting my opponent, it switches to, okay, but we're done playing now. This should be over. I'm the vet. You can see it in her eyes.
Sage Sin, a great wrestler, but really cut her teeth as a deathmatch wrestler. Do you think not having things like the thumbtacks, like the barbed wire, is a detriment to her, or do you think that she's going to be able to put this one away no problem?
You know, that's actually a really good point. It does put her at a slight disadvantage when you can't use the tools that you're used to using. Oh, we got the tag. Can she turn it around?
Using that momentum.
Crowd is fully behind Nina.
Nina looking to try to get her team back in this thing.
With some knees of her own. Gonna smash the pumpkin.
Using all that momentum, all that emotion that she had built up on the outside with that, as you mentioned, a bit of a pumpkin smash of her own in the corner.
It's a pumpkin smash. I'll show you a pumpkin that's smashed.
Going to the top. Nina recently got married in January to Kodo Hiro. Oh, it hooks the leg. Recently married to Santino brothers wrestler Kodo Hiro. What a great gift to herself, wedding gift to herself, to get a big win in her debut tonight, if it's possible.
That definitely would be amazing. We can honeymoon in the ring.
Of course, Kodo Hiro recovering from an injury. His GoFundMe is still available if you want to help contribute to that. Check it out at Santino Bros on social media. But Auntie Heidi looking to try to cut things off at the pass, but Jen sees it coming, trying to be there for her partner. Sage Sin fighting back, and now it's broken down into a brawl.
Now this is the Santino sisters part of Santino sisters. Fight that out with your sisters.
And this crowd loves it. They know what you get when you come to Santino's. You're getting a fight. Auntie Heidi's got the goozle.
This doesn't bode well. This doesn't bode well. They got to get out of there.
Auntie Heidi uses that Auntie's love with that goozle, but wasn't able to get it. I think Jen saw it coming, fighting for her life. Jen and Nina try to take down their opponents. Not enough. And
that's using your opponent's head. Jen just tossed out like the trash. Oh, oh no.
And Nina not in a good position.
Oh, double choke slam. I don't think she's getting out of this.
And a dominant display by Sage Sin and Auntie Heidi. They continue their winning ways.
But I gotta say, I'm so impressed with the heart Nina and Jen showed, and also just how well they were working together as a team. I think they could have a very bright future here, and especially if they work together again in the future.
Would absolutely love to see both of them come back, but it looks like Sage Sin and Auntie Heidi would not like to see them come back, trying to put away Nina maybe permanently. You never like to see that after a match like this, but you're right. I think that both Jen and Nina did a phenomenal job. Would love to see them back, but tonight goes to Sage Sin and Auntie Heidi, as we're going to send things over to Adnan Qureshi to get a few words with our winners.
Auntie Heidi, Sage Sin Supreme, a mainstay here at Santino's for I don't know how many years, kicking it off here with a victory here at Santino Sisters.
Don't you do your job? You got a fucking music, man?
Yeah, Mama Santino, as we call her. The show continues as we have a lot more lined up for you, but for now, I want to kick things on over to this special word from Savvy Stone.
May 18th in Azusa, California, Santino Bros hosts Women of Wrestling. Congratulations, Santino Bros. The award goes to you for the biggest marketing ploy in wrestling history today. You want to stand here as a show, as a company, and represent women. But you suffocate the women that are part of your company. You suffocate talent like me. You suffocate a superstar like me because an old washed up vet doesn't want to handle a new classy looking edgy superstar like myself. So you throw me Miss Booty Cheeks herself. Santino Bros, you lied to me, you lied to the people, and now Lois, your ass is on the line.
Those were some very disrespectful words from Savvy Stone there. Of course, as mentioned, Savvy Stone, she will be competing in our next matchup, so she'll have to put her money where her mouth is. Savvy Stone, as you just saw there, calling Santino Brothers a marketing ploy and saying that they're suffocating her by not giving her the matches that she wants. Well, here she is with a matchup, a rematch, a part 2 against someone that Savannah Stone recently got a win over, but did it in nefarious ways. Sarah, what's your take on Savvy Stone?
You know, I think it's really easy to come out here and talk big and crush a Red Bull can and think that you're owed the world, but I think she's going to learn pretty quickly that that's not how things work in the world of wrestling. You really have to earn your stripes, and the Santino sisters are just the ones to kind of teach her that, I think.
Savvy Stone, a long history here with Santinos. Was once part of The Garden, a group ran by Ray Rosas. Since the group dissolved, she's really focused herself, but as mentioned, she now finds herself in the ring with somebody who she has some history with. Louise Grain. She had a match at BPW with Savvy Stone recently, and Lois had the chance to win, but Savvy Stone bit Lois. And ever since then, Lois has been chomping at the bit to get some revenge.
Is that on purpose? Bit chomping is very clever.
I'm a pro. Lois Grain, clearly 6'2". Someone who likes to use her size and strength against her opponents. It'll be interesting to see how someone like Savvy Stone handles her in round 2 between these two.
You know, I spoke to Savvy Stone, and she mentioned that she's coming in more calculated, more precise.
And our next match is a singles match scheduled for one fall. From St. Louis, Missouri, she is unbreakable, Savvy Stone. And her opponent from Southern California, standing 6'2" and weighing 180 pounds, she is the president and CEO of Butt Wrestling Inc., Lois Grain.
Again, these two have a lot of history. Savvy Stone, very disrespectful, as I mentioned in that video package. calling her Miss Booty Cheeks, referring to Lois Grain.
Well, I mean, it's not entirely wrong to call her that, as you just saw, but one of the things about Lois is she kind of lets these things roll off of her. She's like a truck, and she's gonna drive through whatever is in her way. So you can say insults, you can say she's just a booty wrestler, this or that, but she's here to show you who she really is.
Of course, Lois Grain has a lot of history, wrestled for WOW. Savvy Stone, about as confrontational and aggressive as you're going to find, as we see here.
Some real scrappy do going on right now.
I don't know if Scrappy Doo could hit as hard as Savvy Stone. His bark was worse than his bite, I think.
Now, come on, Lois, you know, she's a vet in comparison to Savvy Stone. I don't want to see her. There we go. Excellent. I didn't want to see her fall for that.
Well, Savvy got the handshake, but oh!
Oh, is she biting again? Is that just her thing? She bites?
She bit again, as you see Savvy coyly pointing to her temple there. Again, going right back to what helped her get the win last time, and Lois, none too happy.
She's definitely gonna have a cramp from that. The sound of that chop.
Now, what do you make of Savvy Stone? Has all the fight in the world, but trying to go hit for hit with someone this much bigger than her in Lois Grain?
Yeah, I don't think that is very savvy, to be honest. Look at these legs. Look at the size of Lois's legs compared to Savvy's little body. I probably would have chosen a different tactic. But then again, I was fairly cerebral in my head.
Lois, I mean, smartly smothering now Savvy Stone. And someone like Lois, because of her height, because of her size, really able to hit you from anywhere at any time. There's nowhere to hide in that ring when you're in the ring with Lois Grain.
Exactly. She's also hard to put down for that same reason, because she can pretty much get to anywhere in the ring with those long legs.
A little bit of showmanship from Lois Grain. Stone, none too happy.
Well, she's got to learn to do her own splits. Oh.
Didn't get all of it there.
Missed.
I want to take a moment to remind everyone, June 20th, right here in Azusa, Fight Night returns. Tickets available now at SantinoBros.net, at Santino Brothers Eventbrite page, or at Santino Brothers social media. You can find it anywhere. June 20th on Triller TV, streaming live as well. Make sure to check it out, Fight Night 13. Lois Grain maybe just had enough of Stone and just chucked her to the outside, stealing someone's front row seat.
I don't think they're going to complain.
And it looks like Stone saw it coming, able to reverse things.
The sounds, I don't know if everyone on the stream can hear the devastation of these chops and slaps.
Oh, this is just getting rough. I mean, we're across the building here, and we can hear these things.
They are brutalizing each other.
See, this is a lot of these matches, like the tag team match we had earlier. Those were four wrestlers looking to try to make a statement. These two are fighting because they hate each other. These two are fighting because they don't like each other, and it's a totally different kind of animal.
And you know, that much more enjoyable for it. I love to see people taking out their frustrations on each other in the ring. It's almost therapeutic.
Well, to that point, I always say Savvy Stone, as she goes by, someone who, if she didn't have pro wrestling, would probably just be picking fights with people in the streets.
She does look like the type. Look at those boots. Those are fight picker boots.
I mean, the aggression of Stone. The thing about her is, over the years as well, is she's always been aggressive, always been this just savage attacker, but over the past few months, over the past 6 months or so, she's really focused that savagery, that aggression. She's been hitting the gym, she's been working out more, and now even in her fights, I can see that she's using that aggression as we see here to her advantage, hooks the leg.
I'm really impressed with how smoothly she just lifted. You're right, she must be in the gym.
This is definitely a different Savvy Stone than what we've been used to. Much more focused, much more, still wanting to be, as I say, I use the word savage specifically because she's such a savage fighter, but it's, like I say, it's more focused. Instead of just swinging wildly, it seems that she definitely has a purpose in what she's doing now.
It's really smart to try and attack the legs because the legs are really Lois's greatest weapon besides her peach, she calls it. That is amazing.
Is that it?
That was like watching an ant pick up a boulder.
Stone just hoisting up.
Hoist.
I
You really
mean,
have to emphasize it. That was a hoist.
I mean, how often does Lois Grain get lifted like that, you think? Very rarely.
Not very often.
What does that got to do to the mindset of a Lois Grain getting lifted like that?
She's probably confused because, you know, a lot of times Lois is just using her brute strength and size against other people.
Oh, shattered dreams there in the corner.
Insult and injury.
And just salt in the wound from Savvy Stone. Lois Grain fighting back, though. I think she's had enough of the antics of Stone.
Stone is just eating those hits, though. Both of them are. It's like you said, the animosity is palpable.
You know, we talk about just how tough someone like Savvy Stone is. Lois Grain, I had the chance to speak to her earlier, and she was talking to me about her training and how she likes to just do it in her backyard in the hot sun with the spiders and the chickens and everything else out there. She doesn't need to go to a fancy gym. She'll do it right there, and I think you can see how that adds to the toughness of her.
Yeah, she's got farm girl strength, for real. Oh, eating a turnbuckle.
Speaking of farm girl strength, just dropping Stone like a hay bale right onto that turnbuckle.
Lois seems to have gained a second win. It's back to using her size to her advantage.
You compared Lois Grain to a truck earlier, and now she's getting rolling here. You don't want to let Lois Grain get rolling downhill against you, especially if you're outsized like this.
Savvy Stone definitely does not want to be here.
Both of them went down hard to get a cover.
That was barely a kick out. That might have just been instinct.
Yeah, you got to wonder if Lois Grain was able to capitalize sooner. Could that have been it? Stone.
She's laying on the ground and still slapped her.
Stone doesn't have defense. It's just all offense. When they built her stats, it was all offense. But Lois Grain getting back to work here. And again, how great is it to have someone like Lois Grain here, who's been in the industry so long with the leg?
It's been awesome watching her evolve and grow. You know, she's never strayed away from who she is at the core, which is butt wrestling. But she has still managed to grow and change and evolve and just get better and better with time. And I've really enjoyed watching her journey.
Yeah, she uses the butt wrestling, but the effectiveness of it, as we see, she uses, again, just her size and that ability to really neutralize opponents. And you see it here, Stone trying to fight back, but Lois Grain able to absorb it.
She can take a lot. I guess the question will be which one can take more.
You know, you think of the old cliche, unstoppable force, immovable object, and you kind of get that here with Stone.
Oh
Whoa!
my gosh, the size of that German suplex. I don't know that Lois has ever experienced that before.
Stone just throwing Lois Grain with that suplex. What an incredible maneuver. The strength of Stone can't be denied. And now it's just getting into a slugfest. The spirit of Santino's, as we said earlier, definitely strong. Is what do we have here?
Oh!
Giving Savannah a bite of her own. Right down on her head.
Bishop fight. Oh, but she managed to get her foot on the rope.
Too close to the ropes. Stone, you know, we talk about that focused aggression. I think that's something new from Stone. I think previously Stone may not have been aware of where she was in the ring, but this new version of her, this focused version of her, able to get the foot on the ropes and save the match for her. Lois arguing with the ref. I don't know if that's going to help her much, but she's planted again. Cover.
What? That is an upset for me.
That has to be considered an upset. Savvy Stone, 2 wins in a row over Lois Grain, has to be one of the greatest stretches we see here, lifting up Lois Grain and depositing her down for the cover. You know, Lois Grain got distracted, thought she should have had the win, and that momentary distraction enough to cost her the match. Now we're going to send things back to the ring to hear from our winner, Savannah Stone.
Savvy Stone. It's been a little bit since we've seen you in a Santino ring. Last time we saw you, you were a member of the Garden, but here you're standing on your own 2 feet, victorious at Women at War. What do you have to say?
What do I have to say? I don't give a fuck.
You know, she's kind of winning me over.
Santino Bros. I want you to zoom in real close. I want you to capture my eyes and my emotion and my tone when I explain one solid piece of advice for you guys. Let me in. I am here. I came. I own. This is mine.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner against Savvy Stone. Back to you, Sarah and Jen at the booth.
I mean, not one to mince words there. Savvy Stone. She wants to, she phrased it before, stop being suffocated by Santino Bros once in, and Savvy Stone is someone who I think is going to have a very, very big year this year and next year. I see bright things for that individual.
You know, I do kind of see her point. It is hard to break in with the Santino Bros and Santino sisters. I'm not saying we're a clique, but kind of a clique.
Well, that's one of the things that's really great about something like Women at War here, all-female show, and I want to point out, it's a sold-out arena. I think that is proof that these kinds of shows, these kinds of matches, people want to see. They are a draw.
Speaking of a draw that people want to see, it's Miss Hollywood.
Miss Hollywood, Simone Williams, of course, had a run-in, we should say, with Delilah Doom back at Last Man Standing, costing Delilah Doom the match. What is this?
What is... She's got bodyguards now? I guess I haven't seen her in a little bit.
Well, for those of you not in the know, Simone Williams, a bit of a reality TV star now, and I think maybe that's gone to her head a little bit.
I mean, I'd also like to point out she lost that reality show competition. I don't think she should be that proud.
And it looks like we're going to hear what Simone has to say.
Let me introduce myself. I am Simone Williams, former WOW World Champion, reality TV star, Dream Girl. Everyone in here tonight, I am that dream girl. I am here to make a statement. Anything these girls can do, I can do better. I am world-class talent. And at the end of tonight, you're all gonna realize what I've already known all along. And that is that I simply am the best.
Well, someone who might disagree with Simone Williams being the best, Delilah Doom, the former Inter-City champion, lost the championship because Simone Williams stabbed her in the back at Last Man Standing. And now she's here to get a measure of revenge.
I really thought we were friends. I thought we really had each other's backs. And I truly believed you were someone that I could trust. But I guess I should have known better than to trust somebody that was on a TV show called The Traitors. Because that's all that you are. You not only cost us our friendship, you cost me the damn title! So enjoy your little welcome home party right now while it lasts. But by the end of this evening, you're gonna realize that you can't sweat with Delilah Doom.
This thing appears to have broken down, and of course, Simone Williams hiding behind her security guards.
You know, turns out it was pretty smart of her to bring them.
I guess you're not wrong there. Of course, Simone not going to be able to run much longer. These two face each other in our main event later tonight. Again, in a match that I think Delilah Doom has been counting down the days to ever since Last Man Standing, where Simone cost her that Inter-City Championship, ending her over 500-day run.
You know, I gotta say, one thing about both of these women is that a lot of people who know them personally would say that they're pretty nice, they're pretty kind people. I know Simone wasn't really showing that much just now, but that's what most of us believed about her. But the truth is they actually have a lot in common. The one thing they have in common is neither of them backs down from a fight.
Speaking of fights, later this summer, July 27th in Cudahy at Leo P. Turner Hall, the LA Rumble returns. It's the biggest event of the year for Santino Brothers. Let's go ahead and kick things over to these special words.
And I'm gonna be sure.
I've been in this business for 16 years. 2013, I stepped foot into Santino Brothers. and I came out the third female that's ever graduated from this academy. Tonight, Santino sisters, never thought I'd see the day. Never. When people ask, like, have you heard what this person's saying? Have you heard what that person's saying? Like, no. Doesn't matter. The only reason any of these girls have a seat at this table is because I got up.
25 of my whole life, I'ma beat your ass to death. And that's how it's gonna.
Strong words from Ruby Reyes there, who we're going to get to see in action in just a moment. Already in the ring, though, Gypsy Mac, who's going to have her work cut out for her tonight.
Looks to be a little overshadowed by this awesome referee, according to the crowd anyway.
Jen Santino, such an honor having her doing some ring announcing for us. But Ruby Reyes, you know, Women at War, it's an all-female show, but frankly, even if it wasn't, I have a feeling Ruby Reyes would be here to equally kick, we'll say, some butt.
You know, Ruby is used to being on a show as the only woman most of the time. Not afraid to get in there with the boys, but I'm sure she's actually really excited to have a bunch of women she can wrestle now, because for many years it simply wasn't an option for her.
Ruby Reyes really one of the original female graduates early on, that top first three graduates class there. And since then, she has shown to be just a tough, determined, unafraid, take on any challengers kind of fighter. And that's the case today, where frankly, card subject changed. She didn't know who she was facing until a few hours ago.
You know, Gypsy Mac has an interesting Santino Bros connection. She's actually trained by Gino Rivera, who is himself a Santino Bros graduate.
Our next contest is a singles match scheduled for one fall. From Las Vegas, Nevada, she is the Bruja Daddy, Gypsy Mac. And her opponent from the Badlands of Southern California, she is the equal opportunity ass kicker, Ruby Reyes.
This is a very dangerous position for Gypsy Mac to be in, though, I will say. This is Ruby's home. This is the house that Ruby built.
Well, you hear the crowd here with those welcome back chants, and you know, these are two individual. You know, Ruby Reyes not afraid to pick a fight with just about anybody, whether they're in the crowd or in the ring.
Absolutely. And, you know, she steps into this ring, and every time she steps in, she's carrying a very bitter chip on her shoulder. She feels that despite this being her house, despite all of the amazing tear-the-house-down matches she's had here, she has never been the Santino Bros champion. And she carries that chip on her shoulder. So Gypsy Mac, I really don't think she wants to be in here.
Gypsy Mac, a bit of a brawler herself, so this is going to be a fun match to see, strength versus strength, but you bring up some good points. Ruby Reyes is someone who, this is her home field, she's got home field advantage, basically, and she's coming in a little fired up because you're right, she hasn't had the opportunity to be the Santino Brothers champion, and frankly, I think a lot of people would agree that she very well could be.
And I've been in the ring with both of these women, and I definitely can say that you feel it in every single strike Ruby gives you, that anger, that drive that she has. Gypsy she is a brawler. She does hit hard, but I'm willing to place money that Ruby hits just a little harder.
Gypsy Mac slowing things down, going to the outside, taking a breath, trying to cool down. Not a bad idea when you get started off the way Gypsy Mac got started off so far. But hey, the count only goes so far before she's going to have to get back in that ring.
And I'm going to bring up her trainer, Gino Rivera, again, because this is very much his style. Don't just try to outmuscle your opponent. Try to outthink them as well.
And for people who are new to Gypsy Mac, she's a very talented competitor. She's won titles in Texas, Arizona, Colorado. Not only is she talented, but traveled all around the U.S., honing her craft. So you can see how that style of staying cool-headed is something she's not only learned, but earned over the years.
Now, if you've been following Gypsy on Instagram, she has been hitting the gym a lot. This may be inspiring this test of strength we're witnessing right now. Possibly overconfidence on her. Oh, maybe not.
Sometimes it's better to be sneaky than strong, but there's that brawling of Ruby Reyes, who not afraid to mix it up with anybody. As mentioned, I mean, her name, she's known as the equal opportunity assassin. Been in some fights with some very tough individuals and came out on the better end of it over the years.
Oh. Yeah, I've taken those before. They're not fun. They're not fun at all.
What's it like getting chopped like that from someone like Ruby Reyes?
Especially with the size difference. I know Gypsy is a little bit taller than me, but it honestly felt like someone took a sledgehammer to my chest. Oh, and there's more coming. Oh. Sorry, I'm having flashbacks over here.
You know, and Ruby Reyes, sometimes she's a brawler, and so sometimes people don't think about how technically talented she is as well because of her style. It's such a rough style. But she knows what she's doing in there, and you'll notice she continues to attack the same area over and over and over again.
Yes, brutalizing you is definitely something she learned. You know, actually my debut was during a Ruby match, in fact, as she was in another intergender match, as she always is. And I think that match was to First Blood, just to give you an idea of how tough Ruby is.
Gypsy Mac, she's starting to figure out how tough Ruby is.
Again, we are on the other side of the arena, and that just sounded like a melon being slammed into concrete.
Of course, you know, the thing I always say about Santino's is no matter where your seat's located, it's a front row seat.
No, he kind of deserved one.
Almost caught in the crossfire there. Gypsy Mac trying to get back in control here.
You know, brawling on the outside has worked many times for Gypsy Mac, but it is, again, just a dangerous position to be in because it's where Ruby feels most at home.
Well, Ruby's held her share of championships, maybe not the Santino Bros championship, but she was the Ultra Women's champion for over 650 days. So not only did she win a very tough championship to win, but she held it for a very long time. And we talk about some of the people she's been in the ring with. Willie Mack comes to mind as a standout match for her.
An excellent match.
And she's just lining it up and knocking them down.
Gypsy may not be able to get back up from that one. That was all jaw.
Gypsy's in a lot of trouble for obvious reasons, but you'll notice Ruby Reyes rolled into the ring and rolled back out to break that 10 count. Ruby wants to stay outside. Ruby wants to keep this brawl going, and I have to think that the outside, again, I was about to say is where Ruby's strength is at, but again, the commentator's curse catches me again. Ruby Reyes, or as Gypsy Mac back in control, seems very confident.
Maybe she was just playing possum.
You know, the Bruja baddie. Something about Gypsy Mac is, if you watch her matches, she almost has a tendency to get in the heads of her opponents. Almost seems like she knows what they're thinking before they think it. And
I mean, that's just her veteran instinct. She, like I said, she was one of the original Santino sisters, one of the very first to ever come out of the school. This school is so tough that it was known for a while as a place where there were not many female graduates from the school. There were not many graduates, period. She's been doing it for long enough. She has that veteran instinct. Somebody like Gypsy Mac, I was just going to say, is going to have to be creative. And I think that's what we saw just there. You got to think outside the box if you want to take down Ruby.
Nothing hits harder than that steel turnbuckle.
The chop of her own that we also could hear echoing across the arena.
Gypsy Mac starting to get some momentum going here on the outside.
It's very important that she keeps it. She really needs to stay on her.
Yeah, I was going to say, Gypsy Mac seems very confident considering the beatings she was taking earlier. But I guess when you have a boot lined up like that, you can feel confident.
I'm going to once again blame Gino for this. Very arrogant wrestler, and it looks like a bit of it rubbed off. Okay, this is smart. Get the ref back in the ring to count out her opponent.
You know, if Gypsy Mac is able to get a win here like this, that's going to be a huge statement. Ruby Reyes has had some brawls with the toughest of people on the outside. We talk about people like Brody King. She's brawled with, gone fist to fist with on the outside. If Gypsy Mac is able to get the better of her, I mean, that says a lot about Gypsy Mac.
It would absolutely be an incredible upset. It set Gypsy Mac up for a really bright future here.
And at the very last second, Ruby Reyes able to get back in the ring. And Gypsy Mac, the Bruja baddie, seems a little disappointed this match is continuing.
She may have used some magic before this match. This isn't usually where Ruby is at this stage of the match. She may have lit a black candle.
You know, I don't buy into the whole magic stuff myself, but there is something to be said, you're right, about the methods of Gypsy Mac and how they somehow seem to work every time.
Oh no, she's activated Ruby. This is not the Ruby you want to be in the ring with. She's not even feeling it. She's berserk.
Ruby has gone to that place. Yeah, you're right, that rage that Ruby Reyes has, where she becomes completely unstoppable. If you get a go behind, oh, could this be the death card?
She's going for
Gypsy
it.
Mac has won many matches with that. Ruby Reyes sees it, fights out of it, and just plants Gypsy Mac right on her noggin.
Ouch.
Ruby Reyes, just a big club to the back of the
He
head.
headed her.
Goes for the cover.
Yep. Night. Should have lit a second candle.
You know, Sarah, it wasn't the prettiest match we're ever going to see, and it wasn't the prettiest finish to a match we're ever going to see, but it was absolutely effective. Ruby Reyes, big clothesline to the back of the head, gets the 3, gets the win.
I would argue that brutality in and of itself is a beautiful thing. Watching two people put their entire bodies on the line, throw their everything into a match, that is a thing of beauty.
Well, as we continue things, let's throw it to Adnan Qureshi to get a word with our winner.
Ruby Reyes, back in the Santino ring. Obviously, the crowd here has missed you. There you go. No short of being an icon in the Santino ring, how does it feel to not only be back, but beat an opponent that you didn't have time to prepare for here at Women at War, our first ever Santino Sister show?
You know, I'm not gonna lie, she gave me a lot of good licks. She gave me a lot of good hits. But in the end, I think I was just a little bit stronger, a little bit tougher. In fact, I would say I'm a whole lot Santino tougher than her.
What's next for Ruby Reyes?
Oh, brother. What? Ruby versus the world. You guys tell me what's next, and I'll be there fighting the good fight for all of us here in Southern California.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ruby Reyes! Back to you, Jack, and Soul on the roof.
Ruby Reyes, big win. Maybe that championship opportunity will come sooner rather than later. We'll have to see. But for now, I'd like everyone to take a look at this.
There's two things that I know to be true. I know that Santino Rose is one of the greatest wrestling schools in the entire world. And I also know that I'm one of the greatest wrestlers in all of the world. And yet, at the very first Santino Sisters show, who am I wrestling? Katie Forbes. I built a legacy at Santino Bros. I beat some of the greatest that ever came out of there. I paved the way for most of the women that are going to be on this show, but I'm wrestling the girl who twerks. So disrespectful. But you know what, Katie? I've been there. I've done that. And then I grew up and I got good at what I do. And now I'm going to have to show you why you shouldn't even be standing on the entrance ramp with me. I'm going to show you what it means to be Santino tough, Katie, and I don't think you're ready. But that's okay. I'll have a little bit of fun anyways.
Wrestlers to the ring!
Certainly no shortage of confidence there from Heather Monroe.
Here's a fun Santino's lore fact for anyone who doesn't know. Heather used to be a twerker, and that was a signature of her. And she actually lost her ability to twerk in a twerk battle with, I believe it was Grand Liz. And so it was very interesting to me to see her get in the ring today with her opponent, knowing that.
Well, that's absolutely got to be something that is in the back of the head of a Heather Monroe, and something that I think may have helped get us here where we are today. Let's hear from her herself, though. Clearly, Heather Monroe taking things a little personally between her and Katie Forbes. A match that a lot of people have been looking forward to. Katie Forbes looks to be making her entrance, and of course, known as the Queen of Twerking. Really,
right now.
There you go. Really became known to wrestling fans, I think, with Impact Wrestling TNA, and really got a lot of attention there. And since then, she's been a part of this sport. She told me earlier she saw that Heather was talking about trash, and she didn't like it. So here she is.
And, you know, Katie has trained here at Santino Bros. This was the first school she trained at in LA. She moved out here. And, you know, I've been in many classes with her, and she's just as dedicated a student as Heather was. I've also been in many classes with Heather, who was one of my trainers. She may be a twerker, but she is also a wrestler.
Of course, you look at the face of Heather Monroe as Katie Forbes makes her way to the ring. We talked about Heather Monroe's background. Do you think there's a little bit of jealousy in it?
I do. I was just going to say, this is like when your parents are like, pretend to be upset at you because you tried pot, but they know good and well they tried pot too. That's what's happening right now.
Especially seeing the success that someone like Katie Forbes has had. Really rubbing it in Heather Monroe's face here.
Literally.
As we're about to get started.
Literally.
Make a the referee's going to have his hands full as we throw things over to Pinky Santino.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, standing to my right, she's fighting out of Des Moines, Iowa. She is the Killer Bee, Heather Monroe. And her opponent, standing to my left, fighting out of Atlanta, Georgia. She is the twerk queen, Mrs. Van Dam, Katie
Heather Monroe denying the folks in the front row a show.
It's for our own good.
With that fan that Heather Monroe is known for. Now, I want to remind everyone our next matches are going to be our main event, Delilah Doom versus Simone Williams. That one, a lot of history there. But this one, of course, as you mentioned, a lot of history. These two have trained together. They know each other. This isn't just some random pairing. And I think Heather takes some exception to Katie Forbes in the way she's approached the business versus the way Heather Monroe has approached the business.
I mean, absolutely. When Heather came out, for the first 3 years, she wrestled the same 2 or 3 women. For about 3 years. There's no growth, there's no diversity, you can't learn like that. And that was the scene out here. And so she really had to fight and struggle and claw her way up to the skill level that she is now. I mean, it's leaps and bounds once she actually started traveling and actually was able to gain that experience. Meanwhile, Katie has kind of had everything handed to her on a platter. So I could definitely see that being an issue for Heather, but we also have to remember Heather has not been pinned in a Santino Rose ring in 5 years.
And wouldn't it stick in her craw if it was Katie Forbes that was the first to put a notch in that loss column as Katie Forbes takes down Heather Monroe. Again, Katie Forbes trained at Santino Brothers, and the thing about Santino Brothers is they don't give anyone special treatment. So she went through the same type of training Heather Monroe did. As we see, going for an armbar here, Heather Monroe rolls it over.
And that's something you really do have to remember. You can say that
Katie got a cover.
Doesn't take wrestling seriously, or she's only here for the fame. That's what a lot of people do say about her. But I've been in training with her. She tries just as hard as everyone else. She's just as focused. She's just as driven to achieve her dreams.
Katie Forbes, of course, married to Rob Van Dam. A true wrestling family there. Katie Forbes also let me know her girlfriend is in attendance tonight, so she's got some support here, even if Heather Monroe may seem like she's in home field territory.
You know, Heather was one of my trainers when I first started, and you know, as much as it's easy to hate on her, she has an abrasive personality that kind of rubs you the wrong way. She was also instrumental in helping myself, Simone, as well as Viva Van at the time, to really step it up. She said, why are you always the last ones in the ring? Why are the women always the last ones to volunteer and get in the ring and training? And just those words inspired a complete change in us. So I do also have to give credit where credit is due to Heather.
Heather Monroe, really a mix of that confidence with competitive edge.
A lot of people, I think, underestimate Heather because they may have seen her, old Heather, as I would say. Oh, sorry, I don't want to talk during the twerking. It's a bit hypnotizing.
It's very important. You're supposed to lay out for the twerking.
This is quite insulting. They're playing Heather's music for Katie to twerk. Is Heather going to twerk again? She happens.
But Katie Forbes saw it coming.
I didn't mean to get my
rolls
hopes
through.
up. I can't lie. My hopes were up. I am a little disappointed.
Almost got one up on Heather Monroe.
Oh, this is not where Heather wants to be. I've been here before. Ugh, it's like a ton of bricks hitting you in the face.
And just about knocked Heather Monroe unconscious.
I know it looks soft as a fluffy bun, but it hurts when it hits you in the face.
Well, look, it's Heather Monroe knows how, or Katie Forbes, I should say, knows how to use what she has as a weapon. As we see it here, I think a lot of people may be a little shocked at the dominance that Katie Forbes has. We talk about how seriously she takes pro wrestling, but she's really taken it to Heather Monroe, who, as mentioned, hasn't lost the Santino brothers in 5 years.
One thing I'll say about Katie that she said, again, just hitting you like a ton of bricks, that Katie once said in a class, she said, "I'm your longest intermediate student ever." And it was a joke, but what it really meant was, like, Katie does not give up. Katie has never given up, no matter how people treat her, no matter what anybody says about her. Katie believes in Katie. And I think that's what has driven her to such success.
Well, Heather Monroe's had enough of this, I think. Walking out, I don't know if she's just trying to take a breather or if she's given up here, but Katie Forbes didn't come all the way out here just to have a walkout victory.
Oh man, just smacking her up.
Heather Monroe trying to escape through the crowd.
It's kind of a smart tactic. Probably harder for Katie to get through those small spaces.
Might be a good move, threading the needle there between the people. Is Heather getting back in the ring now? No, just trying to break the count. Heather Monroe, she's been in a lot of places, of course, championship wrestling. She's been here at Santino Brothers. Also was in AEW, faced women's champion Hikaru Shida at the time. So has some big match experience.
I mean, I've seen her on WWE. She's I think the only two-time back-to-back SoCal Women's Wrestler of the Year.
Absolutely.
The history is there.
Heather Monroe, really as good as they come. I always feel like the one thing holding Heather Monroe back sometimes is her own sense of self and how high she values herself at times.
And as I mentioned before, that's something Katie has in spades. Self-confidence, self-belief.
Just those big chops. Katie Forbes not letting a lot of space get between the two of them.
She's really focused. You can see it. She has something to prove. She's coming in here with something to prove.
Well, I think it's one thing if just some person on Twitter is talking trash. Oh,
that's gotta hurt. That has got to hurt.
And how quickly things can change. As I was saying, I think it's one thing when just some person on Twitter is talking trash, but when someone you trained with, someone who you came up with, is talking trash,
I
and it's
think
being
they debuted
difficult.
the same year, in fact.
It's got to hurt a lot more, right?
Absolutely. You feel like a betrayal. Oh, she's just attacking Katie's main weapon. That is so smart. Classic Heather Monroe. She's really cerebral. A lot of people think she isn't because she plays up the dumb blonde, but that's also part of her cerebral tactics.
Well, let me ask you this. Heather Monroe appears to be attacking the strongest part of Katie Forbes here. Is that the smart move?
Absolutely. If you can get it, I mean, a lot of people don't think about it this way. It's not just pretty to look at. The glute muscle allows you to run. It allows you to move. It allows you to have force and impact behind any lower body moves whatsoever. If you weaken that, she is going to have her strength. But the other issue is, because it is such a strong muscle, it may just take more work to wear it down.
I want to remind everyone we will be back here. Oh, we got a cover. I want to remind everyone that we will be back here in Azusa on August 29th for Fight Night. See the fallout of the LA Rumble right here live in Azusa or streaming on Triller TV. Our next event, though, will be here June 20th right here in Azusa, also on Triller TV. Lots of great action coming up from Santino Brothers. Don't miss any of it. Heather Monroe, again, going back to work on that midsection.
I'm actually really impressed to hear the crowd is behind Katie. I mean, that has to, even if she loses the match today, that has to be a victory for her heart to know that she was able to come back to Santino's and win their hearts over Heather Monroe.
Well, let me ask you about this. Katie Forbes calls herself the queen of OnlyFans. Katie Forbes at OnlyFans. She has options. She can do other things. She doesn't have to be a wrestler. Is there something, just the heart and the desire to want to be in the ring that Katie Forbes has?
And this is again what I have to say when people try to talk about Katie. Katie does not have to be here. Katie's not doing this for money. She's not even doing it for fame. She's got that already. What she's doing it for is because she, like every other woman here, loves professional wrestling.
Heather Monroe trying to use a little bit of the similar Katie Forbes offense, not having quite the same effect.
That's got to be embarrassing.
There is only one Katie Forbes.
I mean, if my butt hit someone in the face and they simply laughed. I don't know if I could keep going.
We got an axe kick, cover, could this be it?
She's got to stay on Heather. It's amazing, she's got this momentum, she has to keep it up.
Heather Monroe, it feels like every time she starts to get momentum, every time she starts to get something going, Katie Forbes has an answer.
Oh, this is not the answer he's thinking.
Oh, that and then some. Katie Forbes, that might be it.
Yeah, I wouldn't give back up personally. But that's the heart of Heather. Won't let her quit.
Yeah, you see the way Heather Monroe's kicking out, and it almost, we talked about the instinctual kickouts. Hers absolutely feel like that. The alarm just went off and you got to get out of bed kick out. It's the getting up in desperation there. Heather Monroe fighting out, trying to get something going off the ropes.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be up there. Katie can squat a whole person. Oh. Just threw her whole body back on that drop.
Samoan drop cover.
Barely a kick out.
Didn't look like Katie Forbes was able to get all of her weight down. May have been the difference maker there, but
she had, like I said, she has been weakened in the glute, and what do you need to hold somebody above you? Your glute muscle.
Absolutely. So now Heather Monroe trying to get back in this thing.
Is she going for a Bichinoku, perhaps?
Oh, roll up, small package.
I held my breath just then. That would have been.
We almost saw the 5-year streak come to an end. With the bitch better have my money off the rope. There goes the family-friendly tag. Hooks the leg. And Heather Monroe is flummoxed that did not get the win.
I mean, she's had victories over DKC, Andy Brown, Dom Kubrick. I mean, she's got to be wondering, how can I not be defeating Katie Forbes right now? And that's why you don't underestimate your opponent.
Last time we saw Heather Monroe was at California Love WrestleMania weekend as part of GCW's The Collective here for Santino Brothers. Just a big chop to Katie Forbes, and as personal issues always tend to do, Sarah, this one's breaking down into a slugfest. Heather Monroe caught though. Cover. And that does it.
That's what bad behavior does to you.
You know, Katie Forbes put up an incredible fight, but the 5-year streak continues. Heather Monroe called her shot as we see it here. Gets Katie Forbes up for that bad behavior, plants her, and gets the 1, 2, 3.
You know, I have to say again, to Heather Monroe's credit, how she inspires other women. That's probably my favorite Katie Forbes match I've ever seen. She brought the beast out of Katie in this match.
You've got to bring the best if you want to compete with Heather Monroe. Heather Monroe gets another win, continues her dominance. Speaking of dominance, we've got a huge main event for you coming up. But before we get there, I'd like you all to take a look at this.
Simone, you not only stabbed me in my back, you stabbed me in my heart.
Delilah, you've proven yourself to be one of the toughest there is. And you may have been running the show here, but I'm here now.
You and I became best friends. You became someone I could trust. So at the last show, when you came out to be in my corner, it was no surprise.
And now it's time.
Don't do it, Simone.
To return all the favors of every time Damian Arsenic used a weapon to attack an opponent. For what?
Talking about cashing in a little insurance policy.
There's an envelope. Oh, this was a payoff. This was a payoff. Simone Williams, she was in on it the whole time.
but I guess money talks. So what, is Hollywood not paying you enough? I've been making SoCal history. I became the first ever woman to hold a championship at Santino Brothers.
Anything that you can do, I can do better. It's not about the money. It's about making an impact. It's about claiming my stakes. And if I didn't make it clear enough last time, let me make it clear for you now.
Yeah, Simone, we were friends. But it turns out you're nothing but a traitor.
If you think that it was mean of me to hit you over the head with the belt, then watch what I do to you May 22nd, when I knock the queen of aerobics right off of that goddamn pedestal.
The time for crying is over, and on May 22nd, I'm gonna show you why doomies never say die.
Don't you forget that I've been in your corner. I know your every move, and now I'm gonna prove to everyone why Simone Williams is world class.
It's that time, Sarah, the main event. Delilah Doom, Simone Williams. We've gone over how personal this is, the background between the two, and how someone let the bright lights of Hollywood throw away a friendship. Simone Williams, reality TV star, doesn't believe the lights shine bright enough for more than one person.
You know, it's really wild to me to see this change in Simone. She's so different than the Simone I trained with. I mean, the Simone I trained with would never use a human to step up into the ring. It is a very tall ring, but still.
Simone really changed, as people do in Hollywood. When they see the cameras, when they see the lights, when they see what fame looks like, it can change people.
Let's not give her that excuse, Jack. Gloria Glitters, that name sounds familiar. That is Delilah Doom's name on WoW. I have also been on WoW. Reina Del Rey is the name of Ruby on WoW. We've all been in Hollywood. We've all been on television. We didn't let the flashing lights change us. That's not an excuse for Simone.
Well, Simone definitely let it get to her head more than just about anybody. But really, the worst part about it, having an ego is one thing. But when it costs someone so much, like Delilah Doom, who clearly, as you hear the people in the VFW Azusa Arena, have grown to love as really the beating pulse of Santino Brothers. Had over 500 days as the Intercontinental Champion, defended in deathmatch, defended against all comers, always retained. It was until she trusted Simone Williams that it all came crashing down. But Delilah Doom looks to bring that doom to Simone Williams.
You know, as you mentioned, so Simone is homegrown Santinos. I'm homegrown Santinos. Delilah actually came to Santinos and so quickly became a Santino sister.
Let's throw things over to Pinky Santino.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is your Santino sisters, Women at War, main event! Introducing first, standing to my right, fighting out of Brisbane, Australia, this is Simone Williams! jazzercise. She is the queen of aerobic style. This is Delilah Doom.
May not have originally been from Santino's, but you listen to this crowd, she is every bit a Santino.
She won us all over. The trainers, the school owners, the crowd. Delilah is a Santino.
Referee Charlie Wu making sure that there's...
You know, I just realized, I think, when Simone started to change, I don't think it was Hollywood. She changed her hair color. Blonde Simone would have never done this. She would have never hurt anybody. But all jokes aside, one thing these two always had in common for me was that they were the kind of people who seemed so nice that you could take advantage of them. And what a lot of people don't know about either of them is that's actually just simply not true. Delilah may seem as sweet as pie, but you actually cannot take advantage of her, because when she has a goal and she has a drive, whatever she wants to achieve, she is going to do it. And Simone is the exact same way. I mean, the hardships Simone endured just to become a citizen of America, to be honest, to be able to continue to wrestle here. A lot of people don't know that story about what she's been through. So these are two women, I mean, honestly, these are the kind of people I'd love to see in an I Quit match, because I just can't imagine either of them ever saying that they would quit.
Well, you're right. You know, you think of the cardio and the work rate of a Delilah Doom, but then you also think the ego of Simone Williams. Neither of them could I imagine being in a situation where they would do that. Simone, though, rolling through. Simone, again, you know, there's no one more confident in themselves than Simone Williams. There's no one that believes in themselves more than Simone does. Do you think that's going to benefit her, or is that going to be harmful to her?
I think against some opponents, it is a problem. You know, against some opponents, it's going to let you overthink things or not predict things. But against Delilah, I'm just not sure. Delilah, she does look through things through rose-colored glasses. She might not be prepared for another betrayal.
Of course, Simone Williams, you know, she wanted to make it clear that she didn't betray Delilah Doom for money. It wasn't a cash grab for her. For her, it was the fact that Delilah Doom was the champion for so long and getting so much attention and getting so many accolades and so much love from the fans. She just couldn't deal with that. She didn't like that she wasn't the biggest star in Hollywood. And so she had to take it away from her.
Absolutely. I mean, I can totally understand that too. Like I said, Simone is homegrown. Simone should have more love with this crowd than Delilah as a transplant should have. And not just that, even, oh wow, right off the top.
Cover.
As I was saying, even with WOW, Simone had something else. She went to WOW, she's somewhere different, somewhere where she could be a star. And then what happened? Delilah followed her right to WOW and became more of a favorite than her.
Delilah Doom, I always say, one of the most lovable wrestlers you're going to come across. Plants Simone down. And this is where you get your steps in. Getting her steps in, walking all over Simone Williams. And this is a more fired up Delilah Doom than I think we're used to seeing. This one, she's always had passion. She's always been fired up about being a champion, being a winner. But this one, you can definitely tell there's a little bit more stank in those punches.
Absolutely, this is personal.
Simone trying to get some reprieve on the outside, nothing doing. And it is few and far between people who can control a crowd like Delilah Doom.
But you gotta watch out. Simone is like one of those Australian snakes in the grass. The incredibly poisonous animals of Australia. That's what we're dealing with right here. Hide in your attic.
Hooks the leg. Only a one. See how we talk about being like a snake. Simone Williams, how quickly she was able to strike, grabbing the hair of Delilah Doom as she was getting in the ring. And just like that, everything changed, and Simone Williams is back in control of this thing.
You know, Delilah might have the aerobic aerobics going for her, but Simone has actually got a boxing background and a dancing background. Both of those things allow her to move so quickly on her feet and stay so light on her feet. But again, I just have to bring up, neither of these women are the type to quit. I think we're going to see a lot of kickouts. I can't imagine either of them laying down and accepting defeat.
Well, again, when it's so personal as well. This is when there's so much history to these two. Again, they've trained together, they know each other, they've gone through battles. Again, a cover. You'll notice Simone Williams seems to want to put this one away quickly.
Absolutely, that's the smartest thing to do. Because Delilah, actually, kind of similarly to Ruby Reyes, has a little berserker in her, and you don't want to get her to that point. You want to put her down before she fully activates.
Now,
oh, insulting.
Driving the throat across that rope. And those ropes, of course, we say ropes, but steel cables.
Yes, yes, I wish more fans would just let their backs hit that rope one good time and understand that they are not fun, bouncy ropes.
I ran the ropes once.
Yeah,
once.
Bruise, right?
Yeah, stop. Yeah. I hit the ropes and I said, I'm done. And Delilah Doom, this is that fire that we were talking about. Getting back in this thing, diving clothesline, covers. What would it mean to a Delilah Doom if she wasn't able to put away Simone Williams after what Simone did to her?
I think she'd be most disappointed in herself, even more disappointed than she is with Simone, to know that she wasn't able to avenge herself, to prove herself.
I mean, of course, it's one thing to have a wrestler cost you a match. This is pro wrestling, it's conflict business, things like that happen, but it's a totally another thing to have someone you thought was a friend cost you something. To have someone stab you in the back and cost you everything you'd worked over a year to create. Again, 500 plus days as the inner city champion. I mean, that's just gotta hit in a way that nothing in the ring could hurt like.
It's humiliating, it is, and no one likes to be humiliated. And like I said, again, people think they can walk all over Delilah. It's just not gonna happen. Oh, on the outside.
Folks, as you can see here, this is Santino Bros. We don't have pads on the outside.
That was just floor.
That is just a concrete type floor.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say concrete because I actually am not a floorologist. I don't know what kind of floor this is, but it's really hard.
I mean, I'm sure for all of our floorologists watching, you can correct me on Twitter, but speaking of Twitter, make sure to hashtag Santino Bros. Talk about the show. Let us know what your favorite matches were, who you'd like to see back.
Especially if you'd like to see me back in commentary. The crowd is on their feet for this match, for everybody watching at home. This is just electrifying.
Scratching and crawling, fighting back into the ring. Delilah Doom makes it.
Maybe wishes she had it.
And just the ruthless nature of Simone Williams. I love the comparison to that Australian snake and just how quickly jumped on her opponent and went after that arm. No remorse with Simone.
No, like I said, it's like I'm looking at a completely different person. This is not the Simone that I trained with. I don't really recognize this person, but it's kind of what happens when you let your ambition get to you to this point.
And you see that finger manipulation there as well, pulling back the arm. This could be it.
Which the referee should really be doing something about. But Simone is so smart. She knows just what she can get away with, just how far she can push it.
And that's that ring generalship there. Seeing that Delilah Doom was getting a bit too close to the rope of that arm, pulling it back, and now just tweaking the submission. Simone, someone who absolutely may have let the bright lights of Hollywood get to her head, but don't be fooled, an incredible tactician in the ring.
Look at the strength of Delilah.
Almost got a cover there.
Neither arm available, was still able to push Simone back.
Looking for that Hurricane Rana, not able to get all of it, but I think the damage still done. It's that Russian leg sweep and then moves into a submission of her own. And now it's Simone who finds herself very far from the ropes. And a maneuver like this, not easy to get out of.
It's definitely not, and it hurts like hell, I'll tell you that.
This trapper-keeper type maneuver. Oh, rolled it over. Almost caught Delilah Doom there.
And this is what happens when you train in the same place. You learn a lot of the same tactics. Santino Bros prepared us for anything. In our training, we learned how to wrestle. What if there's no ropes? What if there's no ring? What if the promoter won't pay you? What if the car breaks down? I mean, anything you can think of, we were prepared for here, and you can see it in this match.
How do you prepare to get double stomped in the stomach?
Oh, lots of crunches, but it's still not fun.
Simone.
Should be going for her frog splash, I wonder.
There hasn't been a spotlight that Simone Williams didn't like. Now
yeah, probably should have pinned earlier, to be honest.
May have gotten the win there if she had.
And it's just an example of how this chasing the spotlight is actually only hurting her. Chasing the spotlight to the point of losing your friends. Maybe if she had friends to train with, she would have remembered that basic, you need to pin your opponent as quickly as possible.
Well, they don't teach you that on the show Traitors.
I just want to point out again, she lost. She wasn't even good at being a traitor.
Simone looking to continue the onslaught. Doom rolls through, cover. Goes behind, roll up. Now Doom trying to put this one away, but just cut off so quickly by the striking prowess of Simone. But Delilah Doom back in this thing. Up and down, this is where the BPMs go up.
I don't know if you've noticed, she's really been targeting Simone's neck, which is an interesting concept because, yeah, you kind of can't do a lot of thinking without a neck.
Well, yeah, you take out the neck. I mean, you take out the ability to breathe. You take out the ability to keep your head on a swivel. A smart maneuver.
After this match, win or lose, Simone's going to be looking like Batman, having to turn her whole body to look behind her.
Delilah Doom.
Coming in hot. Nobody's home.
Took too long to make it happen. Simone. These two know each other so well. You can see the way they're able to continually dodge each other's moves. Delilah Doom loves this tornado DDT. A signature of Delilah Doom for the win.
Oh, almost. This is awesome.
This crowd is absolutely behind Delilah Doom, the former Inner City champion. And now, Delilah Doom takes a turn depositing Simone on the outside like a bag of trash.
That stomp was definitely personal. Nowhere for her body to go. She's just flat against the ground. I mean, she's taking the full force of impact.
You rarely see it from Delilah Doom, but every now and again, as we see here, I think this changed from a wrestling match into a fight. And Delilah again continues to get those elusive 10,000 steps needed every single day, and she's doing it the hard way.
And you know, again, the power of friendship. You see how she used support from someone in the crowd to achieve that. She's not afraid to lean on her friends. It's something Simone could really learn from her.
Well, that's what happens when the fans are at your side.
Oh, what's Delilah thinking?
Delilah might have breaks the count there. Yeah, this is almost a different type of Delilah Doom. I think she wants to fight. I think she wants to get some retribution for everything that Simone cost her, not just get the win.
Definitely, because she could have just gone in and waited for the tap out. Looks like it was a bit of a mistake on her part not to do so. Again, hiding in the grass. That's Snake Simone.
Snake Simone. As now it's Simone's turn to go to work, and my I got a feeling we're gonna get a plate of chops.
Oh, and not the good kind, not the pork chops, the bad kind.
As this fight continues on the outside.
The crowd is trying to lift Delilah's spirit, and honestly, it can work.
Again, this goes back to Simone betraying Delilah Doom, costing her a 500-plus day run as the Intercity champion. Back at Last Man Standing, that show is streaming on Triller.
This does not bode well for Delilah.
Delilah Doom trying to get a measure of revenge, but to your point, Simone continues to attack the former Interstate champion, and our referee, Charlie Wu, looks to be allowing this one to be a little loose. He knows how personal this fight is.
Oh, how the chairs have turned.
And just...
Oh, no.
Delilah Doom, she wants to go high flying. She doesn't need a turnbuckle. Maybe she's going to do it from right here.
Oh, man, this is going to hurt.
Probably the smarter route to go there.
I'm glad. I was going to look away. The crowd is on their feet. Everyone's phones are out. I hope they're tagging Santino Bros. So
Of course they're.
Later.
Of course they're on their feet. They just took out the front 5 rows. Where are they supposed to?
Well, they could have just moved the chairs back.
No, you're right. This crowd absolutely behind Delilah Doom. Everyone is on their feet.
Oh, again to the hard ground.
And Delilah Doom goes flying. She says this is for day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, all 511 days of my championship that you took away from me. And now it looks like Delilah Doom trying to get this one back in the ring, looking to finally put it away, finally exercise that demon that cost her everything, hooks the leg.
And that's how you know this is about pride on Delilah's part. She could have just got in the ring and waited for a 10 count and won by disqualification. She wants to get the pin. She wants to get the real victory, an undisputed victory. Oh, that berserker we talked about earlier is coming out.
Delilah Doom is woken up, and as she says, Doomies never die. Could be looking for that sparkle motion, could be looking for that star 69. What does she have lined up? Simone grabs the tights and uses that boxing background to punch Delilah Doom right in the face, but Delilah Doom gives her a Groupon 3-for-1 back. Off the ropes, kick from Simone, staggers Doom. Doom plants Simone down. Now both competitors are down on the mat, and this one is back to 0.
I don't know how they're still going. I mean, they are giving each other everything that they have. They're leaving it all in the ring, on the floor, on the chairs. Like I said, neither of them knows the meaning of the word I quit. They cannot give up.
Well, as they always say, the first person to their feet, if either of them get to their feet, could change the complexion of this entire thing. As we're to 7, you know, we talked about neither one giving up. We might end up having a double count out.
They don't have that in them. But literally, they do not have the ability to lay down and let that happen. It's not either of their spirit.
Doom doesn't want to wait until they're on their feet. She wants to get some of that revenge right now. And Simone, in her own way, feels like she was wronged by Delilah Doom having such star power, by Delilah Doom being such a champion. In her own twisted way, Simone thinks that she's in the right here.
That's the problem with the narcissist.
As both fighters get to their feet, Delilah Doom getting the advantage. Punches and bunches, ducks down. Could be going for that pulse check. No. Simone fights out of it. Drop toe hold.
Oldest trick in the book. And it's old because it works. Jeez Louise, she's definitely seeing stars, and not the Lisa Frank kind, not the cute stars. Oh!
dragon suplex. It folds up Delilah Doom.
I don't think she knows
And
whether
this
she's
is it.
coming or going.
Delilah Doom not willing to let the person who betrayed her, the Judas, the backstabber, get one up on her that quickly.
I don't know if you saw, her eyes were not even open during that kick out. She was still in Looney Town.
This crowd, so many of them still on their feet.
Some of the people in this crowd have been watching these two women wrestle for literally half a decade. They're chanting, "You can't beat her."
You know, I was going to say Simone has probably heard a lot of chants over the years and has learned to let them rush off her back, but this one has to sting because "you can't beat her" has to be something she's thinking herself. This late in the match, this deep into the waters.
You can see it got to her. She's busy talking to them instead of focusing on putting away her opponent.
What would it mean to Simone if she was able to get the win here today? What would that do for her career, able to beat someone like a Delilah Doom on her turf?
You know, I can't even say it would do something for her career because honestly, Simone's career is going great. Simone is at the top. She's doing wonderful. She's won championships. It's in her own mind that this rivalry exists. No one else is feeling it but her. And I think that's what it will feed, is her ego.
An ego like Simone's is a very hungry ego. Simone takes Delilah up on her shoulders. What does she have planned here? Delilah Doom doesn't want to wait and find out. Fights, trying to get out of it. Avoids it. Hits that code breaker. Picks up Simone, drops her down right on her neck, and this could be the pulse check.
Someone definitely needs to check her pulse. That was a brutal series.
Hooks the leg.
My jaw is literally dropped right now.
Where is Simone getting this?
I cannot believe she kicked out of that.
Santino Sisters, Women at War, the debut Santino Sisters show. And these two in the main event are bringing it home by pulling out all of the stops. Delilah Doom hooking the legs, looking for that jazzercise jolt. Simone saw it coming, reverses, throws Delilah into the corner. Delilah throws Simone over and just clocks Simone in the face.
You know, if all your big cool moves don't work, there's always punching somebody in the mouth.
But here's, what's this? What's the personal security?
I don't think they should be allowed ringside.
I mean, we've got to put a check here on the security for Simone. What are they doing? Simone hiding behind the security as Delilah Doom goes off the top rope for a dive that should have hit Simone. Williams Simone hides behind these hired goons, stopping Delilah Doom.
I mean, that's why they call it high risk, high reward. Sometimes it's high risk.
Drops Delilah Doom right on her throat on that steel cable, gets Delilah Doom up.
She's been going for this all.
Just a massive move, covers.
Oh my.
In a hard-fought battle between two people who hate each other, as we look back on this vicious maneuver, Delilah Doom had it won with the dive off the top. Simone hides behind her security, hides behind her hired goons, and then drops Delilah Doom right on her throat, getting a disgusting win, Sarah.
I'm kind of speechless, I gotta be honest with you. I was not expecting Simone to be able to actually beat Delilah.
In an otherwise uplifting show, Simone Williams steals one from Delilah Doom with the help of the Goon Squad, the bodyguards. Robs one from one of the most popular wrestlers, the Santino brothers.
The crowd is livid.
Simone Williams walks away with a win, but I want to take a moment to throw things over to Adnan Qureshi, who looks to want to get a word with Delilah Doom.
Delilah Doom, you can hear the support from the crowd here in Azusa. You were absolutely the sentimental favorite here tonight at the main event of Women at War. Just came up short tonight. How do you rebuild after this loss, Delilah?
Simone, I can see you're too chicken shit to stay out here. So I know you can hear me from the back. You may have won this battle, Simone, but you just started a goddamn war. Seeing as you like to bend the rules a little bit, how about a match with no rules? I challenge you at the LA Rumble, July 27th, to an I Quit match.
Hey!
Because Delilah Doom will never say I quit. Because Doomies never say die.
What an announcement there! You know, we talked about it, challenging Simone Williams at the LA Rumble July 27th in Cudahy to an I Quit match. That's huge, Sarah.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the only possible answer at this point. I completely see why she chose it. These two, I don't know who's going to say I quit. I can't imagine either of them saying it.
Well, that does it for us here at Santino Sisters Women at War in this historic event. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to catch Santino Brothers Fight Night on June 20th back here in Azusa, as well as the LA Rumble July 27th in Cudahy, the biggest show of the year. Be there for it. Also catch it streaming live on Triller TV. I'm Jack Farmer, being joined by Sarah the Rebel on commentary. Thank you so much for all of us, Adnan Qureshi, Pinky Santino, and Jen Santino, and everyone here at Santino Sisters Women at War. We'll see you June 20th.